the National Geographic Kids book. I've got some questions for you today. If you think you know an answer, I'll pass the talking stick to you. What is a frog's habitat?
I would like to stick. Thank you. I remember reading in the book Frogs that they live in ponds, in and around ponds.
Oh, I remember reading in the book that frogs can also live in trees. I do remember seeing
Yes,
that.
I do.
Well, that made me think. I think they can also be in just other places that have water. I think I read about rivers too.
You're right, they can live in all freshwater habitats, in lakes, rivers, and even ponds. And they do live in trees and even in the desert. All right, I've got one more question. Why do you think the author wrote this book? Remember, authors write books for different reasons. What was the purpose? Miss Dean?
Well, when I was reading this book, I was learning a lot of facts about frogs. So I think this book was trying to teach us lots of information about frogs. What do you guys think?
I agree. I think the author is trying to teach us about frog habitats and different types of frogs. There was a lot of different species in that book.
I like how you use the word species. That's a great vocabulary word.
Do you have an answer?
I think the author wrote this book to teach others about frogs. The author informs the reader about different frogs and what they need to survive in their habitats.
I like your answer, Mrs. Kitchen.
Oh, thank you.
All right, guys, so I had a super cool job. I was fact finder.
I like to be fact finder.
This was so much fun because I got to go through the book and find a bunch of neat facts, but I had to use my text features. So first, let me tell you what I found. I found some cool stuff. So on page 18 and 19, guys, look, I found lots of captions. So captions, they're those words that go along to describe what's in the photograph. So I found some captions. Do you see those?
Yeah.
All right, now I'm going to ask you if you think you can tell me what text feature this is. It's at the back, and there are words, definitions.
Oh, talking stick, talking stick.
There you go. What
That's
text
the-
feature?
That's the glossary.
Yay, that's right, glossary. Oh, and there were lots of these, so I just picked them on one particular page because these were really cool. Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Guys, I use these.
Those are pictures.
Yes.
Very detailed pictures, too.
I know.
Oh,
But you
yeah.
know what I learned? I learned by looking at this picture that frogs actually like to eat dragonflies.
Wow.
That one's eating a mouse.
Oh, ew! This one's eating another frog.
I like the way it's zoomed in on these photographs, you know, to like get more detail.
Yeah, those
It feels like you're
pictures.
there.
I know, I learned so much from these pictures, some cool facts.
Yeah,
Okay,
very
guys, I found one other cool label. Let me show you what I learned.
I
found
like that
it.
you're going to the pages, too.
I wrote it down on my paper because it's important to be able to find it again. So I went to page
Quickly.
26, and I have a label here. Can you guys see that? And so this is showing me that these little guys, tadpoles, and those are pointing to the gills because when those tadpoles are so little, they have to have those gills to help them breathe. Like they don't have them later, but I learned from this picture and the label they have them now. So those are my facts I found.
Very cool, fact finder.
Great.
Very good job.
I was an illustrator, so I drew this beautiful picture of a frog from my
That's a good
story.
one.
Oh, I like
Thank you.
it.
Thank you so much. I worked really hard on that picture.
I like all the detail you added.
Thank
in
you.
And your color.
I did have
Good.
a little bit of help from a friend, but I really have pride in this paper. The main idea of this story, I feel like, was telling us about different frogs and the species, how there's quite a variety. There's poisonous ones, there's toads, there's smooth frogs, all kind of things. So it just informs about frogs and their lifestyle and what they need to survive. So that was the main idea. Thank you.
Great. Well, I had the job of detailer, which goes right along with main idea, and all of my key details that I found in our book today kind of go under that umbrella of your main idea. Here's one of them. Baby frogs are called tadpoles. They have a tail and they breathe through gills. over time, they transform into a frog. And how cool that you noticed the gill in that label.
Oh, same stuff.
Love it. I found another really cool one. Frogs make different sounds for different reasons. Sometimes they warn others of danger, and sometimes they call nearby frogs. Yes.
I had a book one time, it was so cool. You could push the button on the side to hear like the different sounds of frogs. It was like the coral frog and a bullfrog.
Oh, that's very
And like
cool.
some of the sounds are high pitch and some are deep. It's really cool that they make different sounds.
What a
I
great
did not
connection.
know that.
Thank you for sharing. I would love if you brought that book in, Mrs. Castaneda. We would love to read that. I have one more detail that I would like to share. The smallest frog is called a micro frog, and he's only the size of a fingernail.
Ooh.
Tiny.
That's crazy.
I know,
So
that is
frog
so
can be that
tiny.
little.
I know, but I was wondering, like, would it be the size of my fingernail or your fingernail?
Or my pinky
yeah, or a
nail.
pinky nail? Like, which
Fingernail.
one would it be?
Did you find out where that frog lives?
I can't remember where that
We could reference the
lives.
book and see.
Maybe we could.
I mean,
Yeah, that's a
seriously,
great
like
question.
sometimes, weird frogs live in like the Amazon
Yeah.
or somewhere not
Where
in
would that one?
North
Yeah.
America.
Oh.
No, but we can look that up.
Oh, what a
We
great
do some
question. We
additional
could do some
research.
research on our
We
own.
could. That'd be great. To-do list.
On our
We will
to-do
do that.
list. Yay. Well, thank you guys. That was so fun.
I love the
I
book.
love our book club.